Now the rest of the story, why do you suppose the uncivil war continues to intrigue us so? Could it be the irony of a nation calling itself the United States falling so bitterly into disunity? So passionate is this ongoing fascination that buffs find themselves in frequent disagreement. However, there seems to be a consensus that the war officially began on April 12, 1861 at Fort Sumter. But who fired the first shot? It's been the subject of lively debate among historians for more than 100 years. Most of the tales regarding the assault on and defense of Fort Sumter were scrupulously recorded, but nobody remembers, that is, with certainty, the identity of the man who pulled the trigger and plunged the nation into its darkest hours. For many years, the distinction was bestowed upon one Edmund Ruffin, a Virginia agriculturalist whose eagerness to have it up with the Yankees was indeed well known. Other names have been mentioned along the way. A lieutenant named Gibbs, a private named Halsey, even a little girl named Frances Pickens. Well, today's apologists say that probably Confederate Lieutenant Henry S. Farley fired the opening shot of the Civil War. But pending the surprise discovery of some definitive document regarding the matter, all we can say for certain is that some Southerner started it. But this asterisk is the rest of the story. For all the uncertainty as to who shot first, there is no question whatsoever concerning who shot back. He was a senior captain of the Federal garrison defending Fort Sumter. He was in fact second in command, and his name was Abner. You will recall that the fort was, in fact still is, located in Charleston Harbor some distance from shore. The Yankees were in possession of the fort. The Rebs told the Yankees to get out. The Yankees said they would think about it, but they didn't think hard enough to suit the Rebs. At 4 a.m. on that fateful Friday, a Confederate artillery shell roared into the black sky from the ironclad battery on Morris Island. Now Abner was asleep inside Fort Sumter. Abner was sound asleep until that Confederate shell crashed through the masonry, exploded, and knocked his cap from his head. Well, that rude awakening made Abner very angry. So abruptly awakened, he managed to gather his wits about him, sought out and found the first Federal cannon within reach. As soon as he got his hands on that cannon, he returned fire. And there's no doubt about what I've just said. For having fired the first Union shot of the Civil War, Abner nonetheless remains a mere footnote in the history of that conflict. You've never heard before that it was he who fired the first shot. Posterity has all but ignored what Abner did. Instead, Abner has been praised for something he never did. What he did do was invent baseball. And yet, Captain Abner Doubleday, in April 1861, did indeed throw out the season's first Yankee cannonball. Now you know the rest of the story.